Hey guys, this is Camplified, and in this video we will talk about Cannizzaro reaction under the topic aldehydes and ketones. This is one of the named reaction from aldehydes and ketones. This is a special reaction with special qualities. What are those special qualities? We will talk about them in upcoming part of the videos. But first, let's see what is the reaction which represents Cannizzaro reaction or given by Cannizzaro. Now the reaction is aldehydes which do not have alpha hydrogen when heated with concentrated NaOH undergoes disproportionation reaction. And what is the product? One is alcohol and one is carboxylic acid in the disproportionation reaction, right? This is the reaction, and since we are talking about disproportionation reaction, so you can just think that there are two molecules of the reactant. There are two molecules of same reactant that will participate in the reaction to give the desirable products, right? So let us first write the reaction. You have formaldehyde, two formaldehyde molecules when treated with NaOH, strong base NaOH, and heated, you will get an alcohol, that is CH3OH, plus a carboxylic acid. Now this is sodium formate. Sodium, but as soon as you remove sodium and put hydrogen in place of sodium, you will get your acid, carboxylic acid, and will give you formic acid. Now before we go for the mechanism, there are a few things that you should remember, that in our reaction we have a lot of OH minus ions and we will use them according to our necessity. Now what is the meaning of alpha hydrogen? Let me draw the functional group. Suppose this is your functional group, aldehyde, and this carbon is attached to another carbon, and this carbon is attached to the next carbon. Now the hydrogens are fulfilling the valencies, right, like this. So in this particular compound, this is functional group, and the first carbon attached to the functional group is your alpha carbon, and the hydrogen present on this carbon is your alpha hydrogen. Now in our reaction, Cannizzaro reaction, we are using aldehyde which do not have alpha hydrogen, That's why we have chosen formaldehyde, because it do not have alpha carbon, and if it do not have alpha carbon, it do not have alpha hydrogen, right? Remember these few things. And also very important, you can note it down or remember it, that ketones do not give this reaction. Ketones don't give Cannizzaro reaction. Remember this line. So we will be treating formaldehyde in our mechanism with NaOH. So let's start with the mechanism. So first step, let me write the initial contents. Now step 1 states attack of OH minus ion on the carbonyl group. Now we know that carbonyl group is polar in nature. So carbon will have a delta positive charge and oxygen will have a delta negative charge. So this OH will attack the carbon, right? And as soon as it attacks the carbon, the electrons present on the double bond will get transferred to the oxygen, and you will get this intermediate H, C, O negative, OH and H. This is your intermediate. This is the first step. Now this intermediate so formed will again react with formaldehyde, the second molecule of formaldehyde. We have taken only first molecule. We have not used the second molecule. We will use the second molecule in the next step. All right. So let's move to the next step. Now in the next step, what happens is hydride transfer takes place. So first let me write the initial contents. So these are your initial contents. This was your intermediate that was formed in the first step. This is from the first step, and this was your second molecule of formaldehyde. Now from where the hydride is going to transfer? What is the meaning of hydride? Hydride ion is H negative. H negative is hydride ion. Now this whole bond and hydrogen will transfer to this carbon. And why this is transferring? Because oxygen have a negative charge, means lone pair of electron, extra lone pair of electron, and it will transfer its lone pair of electron back to the bond, creating a double bond. And as soon as this pair of electron get transferred, the hydride ion is released, and that H negative ion, let me write it on the arrow, this H negative ion attacks the carbon and gives you another intermediate. Now what is that? Now this is already alcohol. As soon as you remove the hydrogen, you will get H, C, double bond O, and OH, right? This is your carboxylic acid already formed, but there is still some changes. There are still some changes that will take place. Plus, what this will form is CH3O negative. CH3O negative. Why CH3O negative? Because as soon as H minus ion attacks the carbon, the double bond present will shift. The electrons on the double bond will shift to the oxygen, giving O negative. So this is the intermediate so formed. Right? Now, in what happens in the next step? Let me draw the arrow first. This is the last step. Now this is your carboxylic acid. In one way or another, carboxylic acid will give H plus ion, right? This H plus ion released by carboxylic acid will be transferred to this oxygen, giving CH3OH, your alcohol, CH3OH, right? Alcohol formed. Now what is formed in the next step is, what is remaining of carboxylic acid? C double bond O, O negative. O negative is satisfied by Na positive. As soon as you provide it with some H plus ion, it will give you formic acid. So these are the two products that you will get from Cannizzaro reaction. I hope I made it clear. This will be it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching.